Hi, this is Scott from Spectre Gear, and for today's video we're doing a product spotlight on a couple of products that have been recently reintroduced into the lineup, and that is our single and double belt-mounted horizontal universal pistol magazine pouches. Now we say universal pistol magazine pouch because these pouches will accommodate magazines from as thin as a single column 1911 type magazine all the way up to a double column Glock 45 ACP magazine, which is about the thickest magazine you're going to get when it comes to conventional pistols. So it'll fit those and everything pretty much in between. And it does so by virtue of its design. So what I think the best way to approach this is I'll go through and show you those design features and then talk about the construction and the workmanship involved with it as I do it. So where we achieve that degree of versatility and adjustability starts with the flap. Now the flap is constructed of two layers of type 17337 webbing with a Velcro closure and a vertically oriented pull tab that makes it a little easier to grab that flap and get it open in a hurry versus a conventional tab that would come off the bottom of the flap. Now the flap itself is adjustable vertically via a Velcro system. Now you can see a little bit of Velcro hook material here that interfaces with this Velcro loop material that's on the back face. And in its current state, you can see that we have a decent amount of adjustability here. Now the second factor involved relates to the width of the magazine itself. Now, and we use an accordion type system that's controlled by this elastic, and that keeps the pouch in its minimal configuration right here, and that would be about enough for a single column 1911 magazine to drop right in. But as you start introducing thicker magazines, that elastic and that accordion shape of the pouch allows the pouch to expand, but no further than the width of the magazine that's going into it. And that's a typical 9mm steel body mag. Let's go ahead and put a polymer Glock magazine in here. In this case, it's a Glock 19 magazine, and you'll see that pouch expands even more. And then if we go all the way out to, and this is a Rings Blue Gun example, but this is an example, or rather a simulator for a double column Glock 21 45 ACP mag, and as I said, it's about as thick as it's going to get in terms of conventional magazines. And as you can see, that fits in there with no problem. Now we are kind of at the limit of our expansion, but it really doesn't need to be any wider than that. But it'll accommodate that no problem. And as you can see, flap locks down just fine. Now if you had a +2 base pad on there, you can see that you obviously have a good amount of adjustment left on this so that you can expand that flap out. If the mag is, another inch longer, you've got easily 1 3/4 inches of adjustment left on there. And I'm sure there are going to be, I don't have any of the 5.7 magazines, but I know some of those 5.7 mags are fairly long. I'm pretty confident they're going to fit in here with no problem whatsoever, despite being a good bit longer, just due to the fact that there's so much adjustability left in this flap. So as soon as I can get my hands on some of those 5.7 mags, we'll go ahead and find that out. But I know in the past the FN 5.7 mags have fit in here no problem whatsoever. Now the pouch body itself was constructed of 1000 denier Cordura nylon on the outside with a 420 denier Pacloth liner. Our Velcro closure portion here is sewn to a piece of type 17337 webbing that creates a little tunnel for that heavy-duty 1-inch elastic to control the expansion and contraction of that pouch. Now the whole assembly, the pouch assembly, is sewn onto a back face. It consists of 2 layers of 1000 denier Cordura nylon with 2 layers of 1250 ballistic nylon inside. It's a lot of materials, and you can see how thick that is right there. And as you can tell from the stitching, as I've said in other videos in the past, we do not mess around when it comes to the stitching materials on a Spectre Gear product. We intend these to give good long service life. Now this brings us to the back of the pouch and our wraparound belt loop system. Now these pouches fit up to 2-inch wide belts. Now it doesn't mean it's exclusively duty belt territory here, because this pouch can be used with a typical 2-inch duty belt, but can also be used with 1 3/4 inch riggers belts that are commonly used for concealed carry applications. Now let's talk about the duty belt application first. This wraparound belt loop system, one of the virtues of this is because this is designed to open up. You don't have to unthread all the pouches from your belt in order to thread a pouch on, as you would have to do with a conventional sewn-in belt loop design. All you need is an opening wide enough to accommodate the pouch. Find that opening, open the wraparound belt loop system, close it down, and you were good to go. It's as simple as that. Now, if you happen to have Velcro loop lining on the inside of the belt, and our Tac Ops belts that we sell here at Spectre Gear have that, you'll note here that on the inside of the wraparound belt loop system, you'll see this little cover. If you pull that off, it exposes some Velcro hook material. Now, how that works is, as you close the wraparound belt loop down, this is going to interface with that hook is going to interface with that Velcro loop lining. And then when you close this down, what's going to happen now is this is not going to move at all. It's going to resist any lateral movement on the belt, so your pouch is not going to shift around on you based on your movement. It's going to be right where you left it every single time. But if you're using an unlined belt, I will readily admit that Velcro hook material can chew up a nylon belt in short order. That is why we provide these. So if you happen to be using an unlined belt, or if you want to use this with a rigger's belt, that's where this really comes into play, because most rigger's belts don't have Velcro loop lining. So if you're going to use this with a rigger's belt for a concealed carry application, the way it would work is you would close the belt loops down to their smallest possible configuration, and then all you're going to do is just simply use that belt loop as a just like you would with a conventional sewn-in belt loop. We insert the tip through, and we slide her on, and it's as simple as that. Now, you ask, okay, well, this whole thing, if it can go up to 2 inches, how does it go smaller? Well, there's going to be a little bit, you'll get a little bit of shifting on there, but the crazy thing is, it's no more than you would see with a conventional sewn-in belt loop. We made a version of this in the past that had a belt loop that was sized specifically for 1 3/4 inch belts, and what we found out was it basically had almost exactly the same amount of movement as the one for the 2-inch model did. So we decided just to standardize on this system for these types of belts, as well as 2-inch duty belts. So what you end up with is one very, very versatile pistol magazine pouch. So it'll fit pretty much any conventional pistol magazine that you have. It'll fit both of the belt loops or belt types that you're typically going to be running, all in one pouch. So you don't have to have a bunch of different pouches for a bunch of different applications. One pouch can pretty much handle it all. And that's sort of the idea, is to give you maximum levels of versatility. So with that, I think we'll go ahead and wind it up at this point. I think I've talked about it as much as I need to. And I'll just mention that if you're interested in this product or any of our other products, please visit our website at spectregear.com. And in the meantime, I thank you very much for watching and or listening. Have a wonderful day.